Greg Valliere is with us. You know, Greg, I've not heard from you in a long, long time. Now, Greg Valliere watches Washington and he watches Wall Street at the same time. So I have the following question. Yep. We got a sell-off and a half on Wall Street. Does that upset President Trump's agenda going forward?
Way too early to say, in my opinion. I think, Stuart, if by Labor Day we have GDP growing at 3%, which I think is likely, if we have unemployment well below 4%, which I think is likely, I think he will actually be a beneficiary of this tax bill. Maybe the big threat is that the economy could actually overheat.
Wow, that's interesting. So you think he could still, the Republicans could still win in November?
Sure. I mean, Democrats have a lot of highly motivated voters, as we know, yep. But I think people vote with their pocketbooks. And this economy, to me, has stimulus everywhere, tax stimulus, spending stimulus, synchronized global growth, really tight labor market. I think that by the end of the summer, this economy will be very hot. That should help the Republicans.
I got to tell you, however, that the Republican Party is now vastly expanding government spending, yep. And will vastly expand the deficit, the debt, yep. Call it what you like. I yep. don't like that. I think the Republican Party has abandoned its financial responsibility. What say you?
It's an extraordinary story, one of the biggest shifts in our lifetime on fiscal policy. I think for the next 2 or 3 years, we're looking at $1 trillion deficits with a good economy. If you have a bad economy, $1 trillion deficits, maybe you could excuse. But the magnitude of these deficits have to worry the bond market. I think that's why we've had such a volatile week. The bond market's getting nervous about deficits and an economy that could overheat.
Greg, do you remember, I know you do, the bond vigilantes?
Yeah.
They were the people who jumped in there and corrected movements in the economy because we were borrowing too much. Do you think the vigilantes are going to come back?
They sure could. There could be crowding out, Stuart. I think one of the problems is in this town, there is no one really who wants to take on any kind of spending, whether it's a little trim on Social Security and Medicare. You look at the magnitude of the spending increases we've gotten in the last couple of days, and you just shake your head. I'm not sure the economy needs it right now.
No, look, we're already growing at 3%. We've already got tax cuts. We've already got bonuses and all the other goodies that are being passed through. And now comes $320 billion of extra government spending in the next 2 years. You're just piling on the stimulus here.
And I'd also add a very important element, Stuart, and that is, where are we going to get all the workers? When I travel around the country and see CEOs, they all tell me their biggest problem is lack of skilled labor. Yet we see the president wanting to cut legal immigration. So I think a tight labor market is going to contribute to possibly an overheating in the economy.
I guess we shouldn't complain too much. A very, very strong economy is good news for every American. I got that. I'm just worried about this debt bomb and the deficit and the debt and government spending. $1 trillion deficit scares the hell out of me. When the economy is growing 3% and you've got $1 trillion deficit, I think you've got a fundamental problem. Last word to you.
You cannot grow your way out of this. A good economy will bring revenues up a bit, but at the same time, there's got to be some fundamental changes, and neither party has the political courage to do it.
We'll leave it at that. Greg Valliere, welcome back. Good to see you again, sir.
Good to see you, Stuart.
Thank you, sir.